We start with our first story, and the Kweu South Municipal Security Council says basic schools will remain closed until Wednesday on security grounds. Meanwhile, the Kweu Abtibie Government Hospital has confirmed a 60-year-old woman was brought in dead from gunshot wounds in the Bipong violence. Medical Superintendent of the hospital, Dr. Med Kobina Awotue Redu, confirmed 3 others who were treated with minor injuries on the scalp, skin and eye and are currently in stable condition.
The farming community of Bipong has become almost deserted with no men in sight. The aged and women sit around and reflect on the violence last Sunday that rocked the community. The youth, according to the chief of the community, were demanding lynching of a murder suspect, Kwesi Nyako, who had been kept at the palace. It resulted in the destruction of property at the palace. The police also say 5 of their officers were injured and 1 of their cars and 6 motorbikes damaged. For fear of being arrested, several youth have fled the town to avoid police swoops that persisted in the community from Sunday through to Monday morning. While the police say it has restored calm, members of the community say their normal routine has been unduly affected, with shops closed and many young people in hiding. Some community members are also accusing the police of heavy-handedness in the way it dealt with the violence after calling in reinforcement.
Police for 10 abani chuo ebe bu ye main gate.
Police in the dennis are bomb me. The
chief of Bipong says he simply wants calm to return to the community and has asked the police in the violence.
Video capture a police phone and then can say them.
The chaos on Sunday has brought schooling in the community to a standstill. The Kweu South Municipal Chief Executive, Emmanuel Atofori, says a final decision on security matters lies with the IGP.
Whatever we'll do to reopen the school on Wednesday, we'll do it. On the side of security aspect too, yes, we are waiting for IGP. He's on the way coming. Although we've taken decision, but we haven't affirmed it, so we are waiting for him. Take the directive that he will direct, that we should, then we take it from there.
The police say they have so far arrested 71 suspects after multiple swoops in the community and have vowed to go after those on the run and put them before court as soon as possible.
Meanwhile, the MC for Kweu South Municipality, Emmanuel Foriata, says they have increased police patrol to ensure the relative calm is sustained.
As we speak, the area is calm and the police are on their normal duty, patrolling, making sure peace and order prevail to the area. So far, the place is calm. We said it's our duty with the police and the security to make sure we protect lives and properties and make sure no perpetrator misbehave or do anything that will bring the peace of the municipality into jeopardy.
Now to some more stories. You may be wondering why the weather is back to misty, dry and foggy. Well, the country is experiencing a severe decline in air quality, posing a significant health risk, according to the Environmental Protection Agency. In this report, Emmanuel Samani delves into the intricacies of unhealthy air quality, exploring its implications and potential solutions.
Ghana's air pollution poses the highest environmental risk to public health, with Accra experiencing significant pollution issues. The rise in levels have increased the risk of health effects, particularly for vulnerable society members, and pose a significant threat to the population. The rise in pollution levels have significantly increased the risk of health effects for everyone. The decline in respiratory and cardiovascular health is significantly influenced by various factors.
From our part as a meteorologist, the dust itself is the cause of the reduction in visibilities, which is a solid particles, which in a way is not healthy for humans to breathe in.
I've come to meet Josephine Krang Oseitu, who is a registered respiratory therapist at the University of Ghana Medical Center.
Everybody needs to breathe in air that has good quality so that they can live well, right? So that they can breathe well, so that they can go about the activities of daily living without any hitches or any problems. So anytime they mention that the quality of air is low, what it means is that people who may have predisposing lung conditions or heart conditions are going to have lesser of the quality of life, because they're going to struggle to breathe, they're going to struggle to do the things that they usually do. And for those of us who may have normal lung function, what it means is that we can have an increased risk of having certain disease states or certain disease conditions.
She stressed the significance of enhancing care for individuals with underlying lung conditions like asthma and promoting measures to mitigate the adverse effects of poor air quality.
For somebody who has a certain type of allergic reaction to, say, dust or mold spores or pollen or whatever it is that is in the atmosphere that can cause them to be triggered, it will not be very adequate or right for that person to be, outside a lot of times. Because what it means is that when you step into that atmosphere of pollution, probably 80 to 90% of the time you're going to have an asthma exacerbation or you're going to have an attack.
During these challenging times, a collective and proactive approach is crucial to mitigate the impact on our health. Emmanuel Samani, TV3 News, Accra.
Now, in other news, a health crisis is looming on the University of Ghana campus as students are decrying the poor state of sanitation. Now, the issue brought about by the Senior Staff Association and Teachers and Educational Workers Union strike has resulted in heaps of garbage on the campus. Here's a report.
The past few weeks have been nothing short of disturbing for students in tertiary institutions. The strike by both Senior Staff Association of Public Universities of Ghana and the Teachers and Educational Workers Union has been biting hard. And for students at the University of Ghana, they're still bearing the brunt. Ideally, tertiary institutions are supposed to provide a clean, serene and safe environment for teaching and learning. But the reality right now on the University of Ghana campus is a stark difference from the norm. Behind me is a pile of rubbish right here on the campus, and this is the same thing you'd find at various vantage points on the University of Ghana campus. The scene here is appalling and the stench unbearable.
The environment has been like this for about 2 weeks now since they embarked on industrial strike. It is really affecting us in so many ways. Now you go to our washrooms, they are uncleaned and you can't even use them. And you can see the environment is very dirty. And this can cause respiratory diseases and even viral or bacterial infections.
A stroll through the campus shows classroom blocks littered with large amounts of waste. What's more, the washrooms emit a repulsive smell upon entry. Students fear they will soon become victims of a health crisis.
Sometimes you go to the washroom and it's not cleaned. And even sometimes, I don't know if it's because of the strike, the water is not flowing. You go to the washroom, there's urine inside the WC or feces. It's very bad, honestly.
You can't even use the place. You just decide to keep your urine and then go home. Since I'm a resident, when I see such things, I just keep my urine and then I go home and then ease myself. If care is not taken, a lot of diseases would come out of it, like typhoid, cholera, which is going to affect students of UG.
They sell here, so bacteria or flies can even go and get to the refuse and then step on your foot and you are going to fall ill or sick.
The striking unions form an integral part of operations on the UG campus. They provide administration, security and janitorial services, among other tasks. Students are calling on government to, as a matter of urgency, reach an agreement with the unions on their conditions of service. Judith Brown, TV3 News, Accra.
Now, some of the labor unions and labor groups are pressing on in their quest to hit the streets in protest against the 15% VAT on electricity consumption. Organized labor insists only a formal notice to the country's electricity distributors announcing the withdrawal will stop their action. Our labor correspondent Daniel Poko reports.
At the main entrance of the Trade Union Congress, TUC, red bands have been hanged. The demand was simple. Government must officially put in writing its decision to withdraw the 15% VAT on electricity consumption.
Actually, put 15% VAT on the electricity bill. It's prudent, and think that you should officially communicate to organized labor. Then organized labor, you will use that communication to reconvene it's a meeting to actually discuss and take another decision. Because we said in our first communique that the only thing we want is a total and unconditional withdrawal of the 15% VAT.
For the Industrial and Commercial Workers Union ICU, the General Secretary Morgan Ayawini said Labour will ensure that government complies with its demands.
I don't think so that we are sending fears. If there is any such belief or perception, then it is rather the wrong approach of government that is sending fears to the investors. We are going ahead with our action.
The unions in education, NAT and NAGRAT, also displayed red. Both the General Secretary of NAT, Thomas Musa Tanko, and the President of NAGRAT, Eric Angel Kabonu, said the Ghana Police Service has been petitioned.
We are not engaging anybody. Today the letter will reach the police. This week we are in red. And then next week, Tuesday, 13th, all things being equal, we'll kickstart or we'll start rolling out our plans.
No, we are just showing our displeasure and our anger at the fact that government is beginning to down us with taxes unprecedented in the history of this country.
The Secretariat of the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association was also draped with red.
We are waiting silently by close of today to see whether any official communication will be released. And if we don't get anything by tomorrow, our letter to the employer will go. And we are setting out all the modalities to ensure that our members are released to participate fully in the national demonstrations. I mean, beyond Greater Accra, in all the other regions.
Labour has scheduled its nationwide demonstration on February 13.
Let's head to Parliament now. The Public Committee of Parliament has requested a forensic audit by the Auditor General at the National Sports Authority following suspicions of dissipation of funds. Officials of the authority appeared before the committee on Monday.
The chief accountant of the Sports Authority could not explain why part of 250,000 cedis, which was received from non-sporting activities at the Accra Sports Stadium during the 2023 Yuletide, was lodged in an account in Kumasi.
So total about 250,000. Did you lodge this in your central, the NSA's central account, where all lodgements are supposed to go at head office, or did it go into your regional account in Kumasi?
Mr. Chairman, partly was lodged in Accra and the other in Kumasi.
Why do you raise revenue in Accra for an event in Accra and lodge it in a different account in Kumasi?
The invoices we issued to these two the Director General will explain why.
You are the accountant.
He's indicating to me that some payments have been done, some entered the regional. It's something that easily can be traced. It easily can be traced. For example, head office, occasionally, when we are in need of support, we make requests from some of the regions that are able to generate enough revenues to assist us.
The chief accountant also seems to be lost in a contract the authority went into with MultiChoice.
Funny things going on. The revenues that came did not go into the NSA's regular accounts. They are being, I have documents that show that the money went to Kumasi and then they inflated the cost of a pump
and bought the pump with invoices that are questionable. It's just absurd. But clearly, people are creating, looting, and sharing at the NSA. And I support the recommendation of the committee chair that the Auditor General must conduct a special forensic audit of the NSA. Seeing theft, you are seeing blatant lie, you are seeing misappropriation of state funds. I mean, how do we continue like this? And the clear disrespect and undermining of a sector minister is mind-boggling. I mean, except somebody sitting somewhere and maybe the Jubilee House is backing what the Sports Authority DG is doing.
There were also several unearned salary infractions with the local government ministry, the Water Resources and Sanitation Ministry, among others, that appeared before the committee.
We stay in Parliament, and it is expected to resume sitting today, Tuesday, February 6, to begin one of its 3 meetings ahead of a dissolution of the House next year. Now, key bills like the anti-gay bill and the anti-witchcraft bills are expected to dominate discussions in the House that will have many of its members hoping to enjoy their final days following their inability to have a shot at a possible return in this year's election.
The committee tasked to look into whether the Promotion of Human Sexual Rights and Ghanaian Family Values Bill should be passed has completed its work. It recommended that the House passes it, subject to certain changes. The plenary is yet to consider the bill, but there are already fears of possible refusal by the President to sign the bill into law. This is because a private member's bill already passed by the House is yet to be assented to, with the Presidency indicating it imposes financial obligations and must therefore be introduced by the Executive. Another matter that the House ought to deal with is whether to seek legal interpretation on the President's decision. The Speaker, Alban Bagbin, already gave a hint of what to expect.
I'll definitely be in touch with my good friend, the President, even though I disagree with him in his refusal to assent to our bills, and I've given notice that we'll be in court on this matter.
Government's revenue assurance contract with Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited is another outstanding matter. The House tasked the Finance Committee to look into the matter.
The same Finance Committee, working with Parliament, has resolved that Parliament is going to initiate a probe into the SML. I urge the Committee of Finance to conduct this probe diligently and in a manner that will show transparency.
This probe is yet to commence, but already a presidential commissioned audit handed to private firm KPMG is ongoing. It is unclear what decision the House would take in this regard. The Defense and Interior Committee's report on the Ashaiman brutalities, which indicted soldiers for the use of excessive force, is potentially another topical issue to look out for. Meanwhile, Deputy Minority Whip Comfort Doyo says the minority in this meeting will be more vigilant.
Already the government has scammed Ghanaians, and that scam alone is enough. One district, one dam was a scam. They said they are going to build a church, cathedral for God. It was a scam. Even God himself, they have scammed it. We knew that they are chief scammers, so we are also alert. And in the chamber, there will be no manipulation. We are going to work for Ghanaians, and that's what Ghanaians should expect from us.
82 bills, including private members' bills, are expected to be considered during this meeting.
And that's our wrap up the 6 a.m. news right here on TV3. My name is Judith Brown. We'll go for a short break. We'll be back with the rest of New Day. Good morning.